This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 250.
This is the Mission 250 Filmcast. We're watching these movies on this list that IMDb put together from users that are supposed to be the best movies ever made. This week, we are watching number 107, which is the 2012 or 2013, depending on which website you look at, I guess. It doesn't.
That is true. Very confusing. Also, not to be confused with the unreleased film called The Hunt, in which a bunch of liberals hunt down a bunch of quote-unquote deplorables.
Yeah, it's going to come out sometime, though, just after this whole nonsense is going on.
You think? Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not destroying it. They're going to.
Well, Universal's like standing up saying, hey, could you stop shooting each other, please, so we can release our film?
Yeah, for at least 2 weeks so we can fucking release this.
No shooty, because we need to make money.
No shooty, because releasey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Already spent the money.
Yeah.
But that is the 2012 Mads Mikkelsen version. If you see Mads' face in the cover, you know you got the right one.
Yeah.
The director was Thomas Vinterberg. The synopsis is, a teacher lives a lonely life, all while struggling over his son's custody. His life slowly gets better as he finds love and receives good news from his son, but his luck is about to be brutally shattered by an innocent little lie. And this week it is TC's turn to review this movie
little
first.
lie. That synopsis kind of sucks.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it's kind of wrong.
That's not even, because I mean, so much more. No, there's so much more about the little lie than there is about any of the backstory.
Yep.
Like that synopsis basically filled in the context without us having to see it. Doesn't really work that way, does it? This is a tough one.
So.
Yeah.
This was a tense movie to watch.
Agreed.
Yes. Yes, that is an excellent way to describe the thing.
Just the subject matter alone is tense.
Yep.
So,
and then trying to digest that subject matter is also intense.
Right.
Yes.
And then trying not to be like, that little fucking shit, you know?
Exactly.
And
the whole
being
time.
like, I can't stop watching this because I have to do a podcast. Makes it very tense.
Right.
Did you guys want to shut it off? I wanted to shut it off.
I mean, yeah. I wanted to shut it off. I mean, but then I wanted to see what they were going to do with it, because it's like, stuff happens very few and far between, right? It's not usual. Usually when people are coming out with this shit, even when they're kids, they're right. Something happened.
Oh,
right?
man.
Like, you're not making this shit up.
Yeah, but you should look at the daycare sex abuse hysteria stuff of the 80s. I mean.
Oh, but I mean, it's a thing. This could totally happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. And it would spread like wildfire.
Right.
Right.
But then there's also these, like, the Catholic Church would never do such things, Then there's the other side of it, where you actually have these terrible mass scandals going on. But yes, continue.
So very, it's a very difficult watch. And is it German? Is
Danish.
it a German or Danish? Oh, it's Danish. I was going to say, it's if this happened in America, you just move. You know what I mean?
That was my question. Like, dude, get the fuck out of town.
You get the fuck out of Dodge. But there's nowhere to go.
Once they kill your dog, you fucking move.
Right. Also,
right.
That's like the point where the movie sort of, I think it loses a little bit of credibility in my mind, but I in the end, I see where it was going, and I understand that, and that's fine. But maybe if you're in a small town and you didn't know anything else too, I mean, and that's where you always were. Like here in Rochester, people don't leave. Everywhere else I've lived, whether it was Boston or San Diego, people go.
Yeah, but do people kill each other's dogs in Rochester?
They might. Well, it seems like a Rochester thing.
I don't think I've been here long enough to see the seedy underside yet. Usually you got to
the underbelly of Rochester, Minnesota.
You got to be complacent for about 10, 15 years before you see the death cults in the basement.
Right. I mean, for context, since we didn't really go into much and that synopsis sucks. Yeah. The little girl, the little character Carla in this movie basically accuses one of her daycare. It's a
kindergarten teacher,
right? Like a teacher.
He's just like a helper. He's just a helper,
right?
He's a teacher, isn't he?
Of touching touching her and showing him his willy, as they kept calling it.
Basically, all she says is she showed him. Yeah,
it's like a rod.
It points out.
This is the funniest description from like. It was just a rod. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. Anyway, they chose some interesting words to describe the situation, but anyway, I don't know. I mean, overall, I guess it was well put together. I didn't notice like any like structural issues.
I was trying to find fault. I was like, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it looks decent. It's I mean it's
got some good acting in it sometimes.
It's got good acting. Sometimes there's some bad acting too. There's some really bad
atmosphere.
acting.
There is.
There's some really mainly by that like the overly overgrown haired dude with the weird mustache. But
Dude, I thought his beard was fake the entire movie. It looked like
it looked like his hair was fake. Too.
Yeah,
Oh.
it did.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? The brother or the
no,
The
friend,
father
the
of
best
Carla.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
Every time, I didn't like him. I think
I
I don't
thought he
know
was a bad
how
actor,
good he
yeah.
did as an actor. I just couldn't stop looking at his hair, and I was like, someone glued
Yeah,
that shit
me
onto
too.
his face. That's not real fucking hair.
Right.
Yeah, that shit's not real.
Yeah.
Maybe,
And
I don't
neither
know,
is the hair.
maybe though, but there, if you don't have a beard, you have to like go get implants, So it's like, then you got to just kind of make do.
Ooh, is that why they picked
So-
on Mads? Because he didn't have facial hair and everyone else did?
Oh, you know what?
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
it's a
we're onto something.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Beardism.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess it touches on a subject that's difficult, right? Like false accusations and how it ruins your life for good, basically. I mean, it's. I don't know. I guess it could. The story could have potential, but it's. Who would want to watch this?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, who sees them that come in attractions like, oh, that looks fucking good.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
let's go
definitely
see
going.
that.
I'm going
Come
to
on,
see
take
that.
the whole family.
Oh, I love good abuse stories. You're like, what
I
are you
know.
talking about? So I'm not sure why this one's on the list, to be honest. But it did. Whatever.
It's fucking higher now than it was when we froze the list a couple years ago.
It's surging. Yeah.
I don't understand why, but sure.
I really like this one as far as where it put me in my head. So I
really?
very much ended up appreciating it, even though
Why?
I
Just
was
because you're like, at
squirming.
least I'm not dealing with being falsely accused and my kids aren't going through this
No.
shit. So I'm
No.
sitting pretty right now in life. It's not
I'm
bad.
saying, yeah, life's good for me. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
ultimately.
do.
That's what you get from
also
the
like
movie.
to see I like to see Hostel and Saw
Yeah.
or whatever and go, that's not me.
That's not me. That's
Yeah,
I still got both my eyeballs.
I like
This
to
is good.
stand up in the theater and go, see that? It's not me. See?
Yeah,
Not
see
me.
that?
Just good.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
you
him
were-
chew his hand off because
You're
he
a
has
big
to.
fan
I
of
don't have to
Gravity
do that.
because you
Yeah.
could say, "Hey, man, I'm not in space."
No.
Did you see that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I
can stand
love this
up and
movie. I'm not-
leave
that's
my
not
chair.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look, I'm breathing. Look, I got air all around me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You'd be the worst reviewer ever.
I
How
know.
it's put together, editing, sound, I have no idea. That shit didn't happen to me, though, so 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10
yeah.
out of 10.
Exactly. This is great.
Yeah, right.
Actually, and then I saw there's some movies where people are happier than I am, and that pisses me off. I don't like that.
Oh, yeah,
like
fuck
that.
those movies. Feel
Hey,
good
that's
yeah,
not
movies.
me. Hey,
No,
that's
no.
not
Hey,
me.
you know,
Why
that's
isn't
not
that me?
That
You know?
person looks a lot happier than I possibly could ever be.
That's why I
and
don't
this
like Hugh
movie
Grant, because that
sucks.
fucker always gets what he wants at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, that little smile.
That
Oh,
smarmy
man.
fuck.
So happy when he had that prostitute scandal. Best day ever. Anyway.
I don't even know about that, but anyway.
Well, he just,
I mean, I
don't
didn't
know.
hate this movie either, but I just don't. It's just not something you'd want to watch on purpose, really.
No.
Mm.
John, I'm going to go opposite direction of you.
Okay.
Unless TC has more. It sounded like you were about to say something more, TC.
No, I mean, I pretty much summed it up. I guess I didn't mind the ending. I think it
Yes.
made sense. It was realistic.
There's
it
an
didn't really
alternate
resolve
ending.
anything. Is there an What's the
Yeah,
alternative
I
ending?
saw the alternate ending.
It's hilarious, dude.
It's kind of abrupt.
Yeah.
It's what I thought was. I thought it was
It's
going to
the
happen.
exact
Oh,
same
man, I
thing.
wish I had watched it now.
I was like, damn sure that's exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was all set that he.
What, he just gets shot?
He gets
He gets
shot,
shot
and
and
he
dies.
falls and dies on the ground, and that's
Shot.
it.
I
Dead
figured that might be it.
Yeah.
That might be a good way because I figured that when he was sitting there that was going to be the guy wouldn't miss.
I think it might have been good in the context of the whole movie, but like watching just the last, 2-minute clip of it, they try to introduce it with him walking into the woods by himself, but then it's just
Yeah.
like, boom, pop, and he's on the ground, and then the movie fucking ends, and you're like,
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay.
Okay. That's probably what would happen in real life, right? Which I don't get, right? If the cops were like figured something out and they're like, yeah, there's no basement. They keep talking about a basement. So obviously this didn't happen. How come
Right.
the rest of the people didn't get that information?
Dude, I mean, that's the biggest problem I have with this movie, too, is that I didn't understand a lot of the characters' motivations, but, you kind of think that people are fucking stupid and they don't actually
And
think
they
through
just don't
things.
believe it. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, they gotta get away with something. He's
But
actually a pervert.
They were
Yeah.
moving on hearsay before like the cops were involved. Like
I
there's
know.
so much had happened before there was that
That
kind of like
fucking
actual
teacher.
like checking
Fuck
things
that
out. Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah, fuck that lady.
Yeah, I really disliked her, and I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to think about her character, but fuck that lady, and
Well,
she's just trying to protect the
I mean,
children. It's like,
Exactly.
well,
In-
whatever.
In her mind, that's what she's doing. And in her mind, she's like, if she's coming from this position of like, you always believe the kids,
Well, and let's be honest,
there
the
you are.
motherfucker did not do a good job of advocating for himself. He just like
he didn't know
sat
what was
there and
going
took
on.
it.
They didn't tell him.
I mean, one
we
can
had more information
assume
than
when
he did.
someone says the kid talked about, you'd be like, "Fuck." Obviously, this is sexual. Like, at least you'd be
now
like,
you would though,
I didn't-
but maybe not when this movie took place.
But
you
even
know?
still, like,
Yeah.
you'd still be like, I don't know what was said, but that nothing happened between me and this kid. Like, at least
No,
start
it did
saying
though.
that.
The little girl kissed him
He
on the
did,
mouth,
yeah.
so maybe he thought
Right.
that's all it was. That's what I thought.
Right.
Because we were
No,
given
I
more
don't know.
information than he was, like for a long
I guess
part of
maybe
the
I'm
movie.
just I'm on the context of like anytime that happens, you didn't
I
even
totally
you know
agree
what I mean? Like
with that. Yeah, but now
he
nowadays
he didn't
to
seem
us,
to advocate as a character for himself at all. He just kind of kept his mouth shut and made weird faces and then walked away. It's like you're being accused of something here. They're putting you on leave, dude. Come on, think about it.
yeah,
You don't get put on leave because the kid was like he yelled at me. Right.
yeah, but he didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like any normal
do.
situation, you'd be in trouble, but you wouldn't be put on leave.
But they live in small towns. We live in cities, and we consume news and shit. And they live like this is like pre-internet,
Yeah,
pre-cell
yeah,
phone
right.
times
Right,
and stuff.
Oh yeah, like we have no false information this day and age.
No, but at least that information, even if it's false or true, all of that shit's flying around, and we at least are aware of it. You know,
I don't know, man. There's so many echo chambers now. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying
really
for
hard
this
to say.
specific thing that teachers get accused and are guilty, but also sometimes less likely they're innocent too,
Yeah.
and they get driven out of town and stuff.
But even in smaller communities, it still happens. Anybody falsely accused of anything, if everybody knows enough about it, then they can judge you. But it's not even that. Like it's also, this movie puts you in the position of just what is it? How does it feel when everybody's decided that they're against you? Now that could be because it doesn't have to be because of something you did. It could be who you are, if it was your race or sex or anything like that. And it puts you in that mindset like really effectively, I think. And Mads plays it really well. And just that's what I think is so powerful about this film is putting, showing this character in this position of everybody being against him and how it happens. And then sort of how like he tries to struggle with it and how he actually successfully defeats it. And again, I don't know.
I don't understand how he
That's
defeated
where-
it. I also disagree
I
with you
don't-
that I was along with the ride, that I believed how the town all turned against him so quickly.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew him, like they spent time with him. I don't just understand it.
But because of the nature of the nature of the accusation, I think that's what made it so terribly difficult.
Hey guys, I'm just going to let both of you know, if a little girl ever just out of the blue accuses you of molesting them, I'm not going to believe that kid until
Good.
police charges
No,
or
I mean,
whatever.
I'm, Denny,
Even
I'm
then,
with you
I
too.
probably-
As from like, we're from East Coast too, right? We're like, you don't fucking
Right.
just ditch people because of some one thing,
No,
Right,
but it
like-
wasn't just one thing. It was because then she called the expert in, whoever
And then
he
those
was,
fucking
wherever he came
idiots
from.
with the family all
then
jumping aboard.
they do the conference, and then the other kids start talking, and then he's really royally screwed before there's been any evidence collection. But there's still this collective idea that something happened, and then you have multiple kids saying something happened. I mean, that's the way this works. That's the way this hysteria stuff happens, and it's that happens a lot. And like if you read these cases in the 80s in particular with the whole satanic ritual abuse stuff, man, it's terrifying. In terms of
I
what
never
they
even
ended
heard of
up
that.
like thinking.
Yeah, me
Oh,
either.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man. So if you look at like daycare sex abuse hysteria in the 80s.
Oh, goodbye search engine history.
Yeah, I know. There was the just
Incognito.
Just casually. Okay. Oh, you want a
Anyway.
divorce, Naomi? Okay, fair, Naomi. Fair.
The other thing
Wow.
is, so the big case was the McMartin preschool. So this was like at the time it was like the longest running court case in history of the American history.
Jeez.
I know it was like 7 years or something like that. Where they basically had accused this daycare of having these underground tunnels where they like performed satanic rituals on hundreds of children.
Jesus.
And nothing stuck. But it was this like real mass hysteria that occurred, and then. There's like a number of cases here. I mean, there's like 13 different cases listed. It's sort of as significant cases in the Wikipedia entry
I mean, this
for
is crazy. The case began with a single accusation made by the mother, who was later found to be a paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah,
Jesus.
One of the
right.
cases.
But
and
they
then
would,
listen, this is your witness.
and the director for this film, he actually the reason he made this film was that there was a psychiatrist that brought these case files to him and said, you really should do a film about this because it's really amazing what people do. So they don't specify exactly what the cases were or anything like that, but they base this on real occurrences.
What I think the movie doesn't do, and it's the part that really kind of fails me, is that I don't get anything from the other side on how the actual hysteria would happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the teacher struggling with any decisions. I don't see her actually being all that upset. She seems pretty flat the entire time, even though one of her kids, in her mind, she was in a building with another teacher who was molesting a child. Don't you think that would make you upset?
So, yeah. I think she was upset, but she's like also at the same time, then she like, part of dealing with that feeling upset is that you act and you right the wrong. And so that also like feeds into like wanting to blame somebody. Right. So she's accepted that this happened. Then the next thing you do is you punish the person who did it. And that's where you also get a lot of momentum going with this sort of thing, because, all right, something terrible has happened here in my preschool. So now we're going to nail this guy to the wall, because what am I going to do if something terrible happened? And it's possibly my fault if I was looking the other way. So now we're really going to nail this guy.
Oh, also pissed me off? After these accusations came out, fucking Clara was still free to roam around and go to the goddamn pedophile's
do whatever the hell
house.
she wants.
Yes,
I know. What the fuck is that?
Well, because the parents were never really watching her that closely.
No.
Well, no
You
shit.
saw that happening, right? So, but I thought...
And possibly she was getting sexually abused by her older brother? He looked at her creepily once, and he also showed her the porn.
Well,
they showed her the porn.
The dad, that weird moment with the dad coming in the room too, where she's like, "It's okay, Lucas, you can come in."
Oh, well, no,
that was weird too.
Really, I thought,
but that was again, because she thought it was. Mads Mikkelsen,
she just thought
right?
it was. She was
right,
like,
but that's what I'm saying.
awake.
So I thought at the moment, I'm like, maybe it's the dad abusing her.
Oh.
Well,
while we're on the
anyways.
weird creepy theories, it's like another thing that happened with the little girl at the end, where they were at I don't know if it's the brothers, but he's the godfather of Mads' kid, and
the guy the other nice guy who was always on Mads' side.
Yeah, the other nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, he had
the guy when he was trying to put the dog in the mud. He told him to go fuck off. That guy.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Right.
It was a good egg. That guy.
That was a
guy
good
has
scene.
back.
Favorite scene when he was dumping the dead dog into the muddy hole is the best part of the movie. I thought, just to put that out there.
Well, you know what I mean? Again. That's the other thing that was about Mads' character, is he was trying to also protect the people around him, even though he was in the middle of this. And that was the other part. That was the other way that I thought that was really admirable about his character, is that like they show the strength of him trying to protect the people around him, even while he is like completely vilified. And I thought Mads was awesome. I really liked the guy.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
always
Mads
good.
and I
He's
thought
always
Micah,
good.
his like son, were the two best in the movie.
Yeah, I thought those were like really amazing performances. That alone, I think, make this movie really, really like engrossing to watch. His like ability to portray like the suffering that he was going through, but also where he stands up for himself. And again, it's arguably a little unrealistic. I don't know, but
The
when
church
he did
scene,
it,
specifically?
the church scene. But also at the store, where he fights back at the store, how he does it as an actor, I think, is really, really impressive. And the church scene I thought was really impressive too, largely because of him. I mean, to pull it off, and I thought he did pull it off.
I didn't understand that
idea.
scene. Could you explain that scene?
Yeah, well, it's like he's showing his best friend his torment, and he's also telling his friend to let him go, saying, "That's it for me. Look." He doesn't want to see his friend suffer anymore either. He's seeing what his friend is going through and how he's suffering, and he doesn't want that either.
The
And
friend is
that
suffering? I didn't get that.
Yeah, no.
Well, he's
that's what
suffering just
seeing.
by trying to help him, right?
Right. Well, no, he's tortured. He's fucking tortured because of, and Mads' character is saying, let me go. This is it. I am done. There's nothing left. That, I think, is what ultimately, that's what turned his friend back, because he saw Mads trying to save him.
But what was he giving up then?
Everything. He was
Everything, Danny.
Everything.
He didn't have any.
Done.
What are you talking about? Everything. He was going to stay in that town anyway. His son was going to stay.
He was
with
going to
him,
drink himself to death and not fight anymore. I don't know, but he was at. I felt like anyway that they were showing his character reaching the end of his rope there. But his friend comes back in, and his friend sees that, and that's why his friend comes back also and helps him. So he turns around and helps him that night, and that's
doesn't
what
fucking
turns
help
the thing
him. He
around.
just
Now-
stops hurting him pretty much. I fucking hate that guy. Fuck that guy.
So what I don't, I don't buy that it's a year later or whatever, and the town's all turned around, and everything's okay.
Yeah,
the worst.
right.
They
Made me
killed his
so
dog.
angry. I was like,
understand
punch
that
him
at
all
all.
in the face, dude.
No, it's like, why would you go back to being their friends? I don't understand it, but I guess it's because it's a small town. There's literally nowhere else to go.
Maybe I just, but
There's
that
no other-
part,
there's no other to be.
That part was unrealistic to me, but again, I thought they put me, at least the movie put me in that position to think about this in terms of how if everybody was against you, if somebody could do this to you, And it could be an accusation of sexual abuse, but it could also be, if everybody just was fucking racist and you were black, or if you're a woman and everyone around you is a misogynist. Being in this situation of everybody against you, and this film does it better than anything else I've seen, and feeling that tense, that hopelessness, I thought was really amazingly done. And that's why I thought the film was really good. And that was sort of the point that comes across, is just this sense of like, and then what I think the film tries to do, and I think to some extent it does it, where he succeeds just by facing it. And that's why I do kind of like the ending, in the sense where the person shoots at him and misses, yes, but then what he does is turns around and just faces him, and just faces the person about to shoot him again, and that person doesn't go through with it.
There was a second alternative ending where he misses the first shot, stands up, faces it, and they get shot in the head for the second shot.
Right.
Falls down dead.
There was?
No.
Really?
No.
I didn't even know. Right. Okay.
There should have been.
Yeah,
those were all the possibilities, right? Thanks,
And what
Danny.
they shut it down, the rifleman should have said, like, sorry, hold on. Click, click, like.
But
Janet, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Stay right there.
Just give me a sec.
Right,
hold on.
right.
Just stay right there. Don't move, huh?
But to me, that's something that the sort of like power of the community, the power of like everybody around you, in terms of like what everybody else thinks, and how that can save or destroy you, is really, I think, amazing, and it's a really interesting topic, and I think this film explores it in a really, really interesting way, and does it with great acting, again, largely thanks to Mads. So to me, it was really powerful. Like, I was really not wanting to watch this movie, seeing what would happen at the beginning, going, oh God, I know it's going to happen here, and this is going to be terrible. But because of the way it played out, I'm glad I saw it, and I would recommend that people see it. Saying that this will make you squirm, but I still think it's really well done. And again, there's some flaws in it, and especially, again, I think how people turn around at the end. To me, it doesn't make sense. But man, those Danish have some awesome drinking songs or chants.
Oh, I know,
that.
right?
I
Hopefully
love the
he'll
drinking
drink with
chants.
us. Hopefully he'll drink with us.
Yeah.
That shit was great.
Or he'll have a beer was the other one. Yeah. But I like that idea. We don't have any American drinking chants, right?
Plus, we also have
So-
TV and video games, so we don't have to like
You're
sit
just too
around a
busy
tiny
drinking.
table.
We don't have to like hang out,
Face
but
each
one
other in the faces?
So one weird theory that my wife was thinking that just was total curveball towards the end of the movie, which I don't think the movie was intending at all. But so the little girl comes out of the brothers. They're all at the house for the hunt. She comes out of the brothers' basement, which does have mural. They have paintings down there that we know because his son was down there seeing all these pictures and stuff. And she says how there's all these lines on the floor that she dares not cross. And then Mads comes and like picks her up and helps her over them. And Nikki's like, oh God, it was the brother. It's like, no, God, no way.
I thought it was the brother. Oh, wait, you mean like
Might have been
her
the brother.
father or her brother?
No, the guy who was the godfather to his son, the happy guy, the guy that was on Mad's side the whole time.
Why?
They were at their house because he had a basement, and the little girl comes up out of the basement saying there are all these lines on the floor that she dares not cross.
Oh shit!
You think it's the friend?
Like
Yeah.
he made her OCD by telling her she can't cross the line, so she'll never leave the basement when he's molesting her in the basement.
Yep.
Well,
But
Whoa.
that seems like there's a lot pointing to that.
So
now,
that's why
actually.
he was. That's why he was felt so bad. The friend.
Yeah,
You mean?
I don't think. Who knows? I don't think
I
necessarily.
think the friend got
movie was
away with
going
it,
there at
right?
all.
He seemed like a
So
nice
the
guy.
friend's like, haha, he's going down for it. but
Total
not really.
ugly twist ending there.
I did think when she was like teetering, I was like, she's got her toes on the top step. She could fall down backwards down the steps. Why is she just
Right, what
standing
could
right
happen?
there?
And he picked her up like, oh God, don't do that. Don't do that. Someone's going to see you doing that.
I know. That's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, she's too close to the willy.
But
She's
no.
too close to the willy. Get her away
But
from the
it-
willy.
but again,
Oh my
what the
God, put her
film-
on the hip. Do something.
But what the film is doing, which is inspiring, I think, is showing Mads' bravery. He sees she needs help, and he goes and he helps her. And he knows that it puts him in danger, but he's going to help her. And I really like that aspect of the film where they find ways to show Mads' bravery in this kind of like quiet way. And I really like that as well.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think you're talking me into liking it a little more.
Yay!
Only because I'm still pissed off of the movie, but I think you make good points where it does show how stupid and people can gang up together and be stupid together and just you know, go against something that didn't happen. And that makes me angry. It makes me hate the human race. And I hate the movie because of it. But maybe it's good because it makes me think that. I don't know.
Right. Well, but think about it. And as a white guy, we are not often in that position, unlike, say, women, unlike, say, like ethnic minorities here, So to put yourself in that mindset, this is what it might feel like for lots of people, that in terms of like feeling like, people are just set against you no matter what you do. And having that feeling really come across, I think, is super powerful. It's also more about just the power of what can happen in a group and what can happen if if you have some polarizing event that makes everybody think a certain negative way about you, whatever it is. And again, this works because of the horrific nature of the accusation, right? So really, that's what I think the film, or at least that's what seems to me really powerful about the film.
I just wish I got that all of his good friends could turn on him in a second.
They weren't his good friends.
They
That's
were
all
his
there is
best
to it.
friends, I thought.
No, what do you do? Well, I don't know. I mean, and again,
Not after that.
Well,
like,
yeah.
If you were, I mean,
Go easy on the hypotheticals, John. Easy on the hypotheticals.
Easy there.
Yeah, take it slow. Take your time.
Hey.
Oh no, I was just trying to put myself in a position, which you're right. This is totally dangerous.
Yeah.
But if like Sam were to say my daughter were to say somebody did something, then
You would instantly
even
be
if
like,
she
I'm
were-
going to fucking kill him.
even if she were outright lying or whatever, my God, it would put me in such a state that it would be terrifying. And so I certainly can imagine the total dilemma there. It'd be like, if your kid says something like that, then I don't know. And it's not only that. So it's like, that they didn't even get to hear that. It's not like they heard what she said. They heard the teacher interpret it. Plus, then they got the expert to say
They put
that it
words
was
in her fucking
verified.
mouth, basically.
They did. And then they had
To me,
it
that
wasn't- right.
expert was kind of creepy.
Yeah, he was.
Did you touch it? Did you
If
touch
you look
it?
if you look at the sex abuse hysteria cases, they really had these people that were not trained doing the interviews. But they were
Right.
doing it, oftentimes they were doing it feeling like they were crusaders, like really trying to help. But so if you think about it, their parents, they didn't get like just hearing her description of what happened, or even the teachers of what happened. No, they heard it was that the daughter said this, the teacher confirmed it, then this expert was brought in and confirmed it. And then all these other kids are saying this sort of thing happened. And that's when they hear about it. And it's like, how are you supposed to not take that seriously, right? Be like, oh no, we know Mads, he's good. He's, he wouldn't hurt anybody. And that's kind of the point of it, is this sort of social pressure too that can happen, and this protectiveness that you can't help but have, especially for your children, and how that can lead to a group just turning on somebody.
I don't know though, man. The whole point, that whole premises, especially since they make the father of this kid Mads, and they say they're best friends. Like they say it multiple times in the movie. So I have to take it at face value.
Right. Yes.
Just the fact that, I don't know, man. Like the fact that the friendship, the way they define friendship in this movie is thin. Like I don't know, and maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm lucky, you guys, but like there's not one situation where I would not listen to a friend of mine,
Right.
like a good friend of mine who I've known
would turn to your
forever.
friends like that.
Even
Yeah.
if they had this accusation with like, I don't have kids right now, so I couldn't.
Yeah, it's tough.
I guess I
Tough
can't
to
put myself
know.
in this situation, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't,
Easy with the hypotheticals, Daddy.
Right.
yeah, I just can't buy it. I personally
I
can't
know,
buy
but
that people
there
would
are
do this.
cases in terms of like if you look at the McCarthyism or the like the Red Scare, or you look at some of these other things where people were turning on each other, turning on friends. It happens. It does happen.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you would do it, but all the same, I also like try to tell myself like I don't believe in revenge or believe in the death penalty or whatever. But if somebody were to do something terrible to somebody I loved, maybe I would be in a completely different mindset, because I can't speak to what that experience is like.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to shut up then.
Right. Yep. Easy.
But I don't have kids, and I don't understand the motivations, and therefore
Yeah.
the movie made less sense to me than maybe if I did.
That might be true. Right. And that might be why again, like this movie, like it's the same thing with like The Room, where I don't think The Room
it's just called
was,
Room, John. It's called Room.
Sorry. God.
The
you're
Room
right.
is the masterpiece with Tommy Wiseau.
Right. Forgive me.
That's right. We're getting to that one soon. I think that one's in the top 10.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It might as well be. Yeah, you're right. Some of these films hit me really hard, even when I'm really annoyed with them and maybe don't agree with them to some extent. But this one hit me really hard too. Where I knew that was going to be the case. Like within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to watch this.
I shut this
Wanted to
movie
have
off
a nice
twice while
day.
watching it, and I never do that.
But that's powerful.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. Yeah, it is.
I mean-
it's definitely. I'm just like, fuck. Like it's people. I was at a wedding the day before. It's like full of love. Everyone's happy, and then I'm like hungover on a Sunday, and then it's just like. And now you're going to watch 2 hours of someone getting accused of molesting a child. Have fun.
Yeah, right.
This movie was not like rolling at it or being like, yeah, this is good. It wasn't like, I don't know, like glorifying in how it was manipulating you or anything. It was like so somber and stark that it didn't feel like this movie was trying to be smarter than you and manipulate you. It was just like trying to show you how this happened. It felt like it was because it was very sparse.
I did appreciate that. It could have been way more heavy-handed on the drama. stuff.
And if it was heavy-handed, I would be so pissed because again, it's like the puppy kicking thing, where it's like, somebody's kicking puppies. That makes me really upset. Good job, filmmaker. You're a real artist.
What you did is not easy at all. Whatsoever.
But
it worked.
Right.
But it was successful.
You really got an emotion
you.
out of me. So. I think that's what also worked really well for this film was its restraint, including Mads. Like his character is somebody who's like kind of like very restrained, and they sort of describe him that way too. It's like as if he like puts up with too much. And so that's
why he's good with kids probably.
Yeah.
His kids are maddening. They run around screaming all the time.
Right. And apparently his ex was not easy to deal with so much so that the dog couldn't stand her.
Is that what that was? I thought the dog might have missed her.
Oh, I know. I thought the dog didn't like her, and so they'd mention her name, and the dog would start barking.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what they were trying to get across.
That was like, because his friend was like, yeah, you put up with too much, and then he mentions the ex-wife's name, and the dog starts barking, and he says, see?
I missed the C. I missed that one word.
Oh, okay.
I fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the combination of what the film tries to do and how it doesn't feel like it's all, proud of itself for doing this, I think that makes it work really well.
Yeah.
Plus again, Mads is just, I can't think of anybody else. Who else would do this? Like
Ben Stiller.
Who could do a role so. Really?
Ben Stiller, huh?
Wow, that came
really,
so
that
quick
was like fast.
that I think you might mean it.
Like, wow, how long you been holding that in? If you ever meet Ben Stiller and he goes, hey, I know you. You're the guy that says I'd be the fucking creep. Okay, thanks, bub. Yeah,
I think he'd be pretty good. Really flexing his acting chops. He's been doing too many comedies recently, I think.
He's got those kind of sad eyes. He's got those sad eyes.
Ben Stiller. Imagine him doing this.
Expressive eyebrows. Yeah.
No one looks like Mads though, so it's hard to imagine his.
Maybe Leo could do it. Am I gonna get mauled by a deer? No, Leo.
No, just a little kid.
You're going to be internally tortured.
Yeah,
actually, it's just after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Leo being tortured as an actor, I should cut that.
Yeah, lay off Leo, John. Lay off. Huh?
Give him a break, John.
Hey, he can do that internal torture really well. He did it awesomely in that film. So I'm sorry, Leo.
And also the external torture in The Revenant.
Yeah, the
internal and
torture,
external, but never at the same time.
Right? Probably not. Once you're externally tortured, it sort of supersedes any kind of quiet pain.
That's probably true.
That's true.
Yeah. He's physically hurt because the bear just exposed his spine, but you can tell it's really emotionally
emotional for him too. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's weighing on him
he
heavily.
Almost died from the same
It's not the fact that he can't walk.
You can tell by where they just sort of, he stopped screaming for a good couple minutes and they just show him looking thoughtful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The mother character of Clara, I thought was, she had a lot of really dumb parts. I had like a couple notes where I was like, it seems like the mother wants the kid to have gotten molested. It's like anytime anyone has proof.
Really?
Anytime anyone has proof or tries to say otherwise, she's like, no, she definitely did. And like, this is how it's going to be.
Like,
I'm just like, dude.
Like you're accepting it and you're like holding on to this now.
Yeah,
like,
why are you doing that?
Maybe
didn't you want to hear that they didn't do it? You know?
You'd want to, but I think that you want to protect the kid in terms of like, it's
like you believe the kid so much that it doesn't matter what anybody else says. The kid thinks it happened, so it happened.
Why? But the thing is, too, it's also confusing. They said multiple times in the movie that kids make things up sometimes.
Right.
So why isn't this one of the times?
But they're like saying, oh, not that.
Right.
Not this
why
they
not?
wouldn't do that. They wouldn't make that up.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that too, though. They usually don't, right? I mean, it's...
yeah.
But that was weird, though. Like, shouldn't the context of how she told the lady first happen? Okay, I walk around the corner, kid's in the dark at a desk talking about how she hates somebody. You didn't find that weird?
Right.
Like, this kid might have some other issues going on. It wasn't just like, oh, I know what that's like. That looks like Johnny's Willie in passing, right? Because kids usually are they're not They're not paying attention to this shit yet. So they're just like, oh yeah, that looks like a dick. Oh yeah, I saw his,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, not like, I'm in the dark. Hey, I see that you've arrived. I'm going to tell you something devilishly.
That's true.
You know?
That's a good point, Adam.
And like,
Yeah.
and
That
she's-
scene
and
sucks
she-
now. Thanks, TC.
Yeah, and then the woman's and says in that scene like 3 times, well, she's very imaginative. Like, no,
Exactly.
shit,
Right,
she's in the
right.
fucking dark. Like, this one's making it up. Maybe this one
Yeah.
could be one that might
But,
make
but
that
I
up.
think once she brings the expert in, because she's wanting to not believe it, but then once she brings the expert in, and again, this is kind of typical for these sex abuse cases with the hysteria pieces, that there's somebody there conducting the interviews that's usually not very qualified to do any such thing.
And is also a
But
pedo.
Well, I don't know. But actually, no.
That dude was
I'll-
a pedo, guaranteed.
Absolutely, that
I
guy
don't
was
know.
a pedo.
No,
He was the real pedo in this movie.
Okay, whatever. But typically, these people see themselves as very much like advocates, and trying to. They're on a
Oh,
crusade.
yeah,
of
they're
sorts,
advocates till they got them alone.
Right?
And they're pedos.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. He's
This is not funny, TC. I'm going to stop laughing right now.
Yeah,
It's funny. It's definitely funny.
It's not funny.
It's definitely funny.
Yeah.
Because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
Who do you think tried to shoot him at the end?
Well, I think one of those
One of
kids,
those people
like,
in the market.
it's one of those kids, I think, that they show that they certainly like pointedly show these younger kids, like kids of the parents that are there, like the teenagers there, like looking at him.
When they flipped him off
Oh,
after
yeah.
he yelled?
Yeah, like pretty malicious ways. So you feel like it was one of those younger kids that's like, screw this guy.
Yeah, they brought him out on the hunt, and that's what they were hunting.
Yeah, possibly even like her brother, like the little girl's brother or something like that. So it's
That's.
hard to
I
say.
thought it was the little girl's brother too.
But I thought again, the son and the scenes with with Mads and his son were really good. I thought the family scenes they showed with him, like their restraint, the relationship they had was really well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That other good character was a weird character. He kind of came later on in the movie, didn't he?
Well, see, there you go. That's the Nicky theory there.
Yeah.
Did you guys understand why he kicked his girlfriend out so quickly?
Because she was questioning him.
He saw her doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was done well. It's subtle, but I thought
Yeah,
it was
she
done
was
said,
well.
she's like,
obvious.
did you
It
do
wasn't
it?
subtle.
Yeah, I wasn't
was
subtle. That
obvious?
was obvious as fuck.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was.
She
really?
paused.
I
She
thought
paused
it-
for like 10 seconds
She paused
before
and
she
was
said
like,
no.
I don't know.
Well, she's just thinking. I mean, I didn't know, but
That's
but
the
point
doubt.
for-
The thinking
Yeah,
is
but
the
she
doubt.
doubted it when she saw him interact with the kid. She was like, I don't know. I think he might have done it.
She's like, did you touch
but-
that kid? And he's like, get the
touched
fuck out of my house.
Yeah,
All
right.
fair
Fuck you.
enough, fair
It was
enough.
not subtle.
I thought for some reason I thought it was.
That's true.
I was
Yeah, I don't know
wrong.
why you
All
thought
right.
that, John. You were wrong.
I thought wrong.
Yeah, you
I
thought
guess.
wrong.
I don't know. I think maybe was that like that was maybe his first like real. Maybe it was Mads' first real dramatic thing to do.
I don't know.
trying
He
to
was in
think.
Casino Royale. That was pretty damn dramatic.
I mean, in this movie, I haven't seen that in a long, long time though. Isn't that where he's like tied to a chair and he gets like whipped? Was
In the
that
nuts?
Casino Royale? Yeah,
I
Was that
forget.
Casino Royale?
Yeah, I remember that part. That part was gross.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a Daniel Craig Bond. where
It
that
was. It was
happened. I don't
definitely
know,
Daniel
but-
Craig getting his nuts hit with a ball and
Yeah.
chain.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm sure that was the
PG-13
screenwriters-
somehow. PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's just balls getting hit. Fine.
Not that we
No
haven't
one cares
seen
about
before.
that. Not that we haven't seen in a movie before.
Yeah.
Right.
Something you do to pass the time. Yeah. So anyway,
I noticed something weird in this movie. They wrote in stutters in the language like a bunch of times, but they never actually stuttered when they spoke it.
well, like the subtitles had stutters,
Yeah.
but the
the language
actual
did not.
Danish. That is
Huh.
weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, I thought it was weird too.
Yeah, totally weird.
Mm-hmm.
I
Bad-
didn't notice. I
Bad,
didn't like,
yeah, maybe it's just bad
I
subtitling.
actually, I remember once or twice wondering that, but I just sort of wrote it off as being like, well, I'm not understanding Danish, so maybe there were stutters there, but I didn't understand it.
Well,
Well,
you know,
yeah,
I mean,
true.
you need the same syllable to happen twice in a row. That's all a stutter
Yeah,
is.
yeah, right. But you just maybe I thought maybe I missed it, but that's really
It happened so
interesting.
frequently that I noticed it early on, and then
I don't know,
and then I
that's
looked
like
out for it, and it didn't happen.
Dramatic subtitlist. No, we need more emotion there. So I'm gonna.
I think it
become a
was.
stutter.
I mean, they were doing it when like the people were unsure of what they were saying, so maybe it was a way
yeah.
to convey that they were unsure of what they were saying. I don't know.
Sure. So that maybe that's like some subtlety on the subtitlist.
Yeah,
part.
good job, subtitle guy. You're doing the extra work there.
Yeah.
Or it's just bad subtitling and it's
Yeah,
not
the guy
supposed to
kept
be there.
double clicking a key by accident or something.
He's got a typing.
He's
stutter.
got the stutter.
Typing stutter.
It
That
it
exists.
seems right to him. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Perfect for him.
he's transcribing what's in his head as he like stutters over and over again.
Yeah, the only guy. I guess very rare condition. But what are you going to do for a living? You're going to write subtitles.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, we noticed an issue with your conforms there that we'd like to sit you and talk about.
Did the gunshot at the end make you guys jump?
Yeah, it did me
Little
because,
bit.
but I mean, I knew it was coming, but
Surprised.
the film did it beautifully. I thought the film did it really well, where you get this like nature quiet scene. So they sort of like really, and you know it's coming, but they also like give you.
You
this
knew it
sort
was
of
coming.
Quiet. I knew I knew he was going to get shot. I thought he was going to die. I was,
TC,
like,
did you know
quite
it was
certain.
coming?
I mean, no, not really.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that when the rock was going to come through the window either.
Oh yeah.
And
That
the
was
movie's-
startling.
Oh, that was terrifying. The movie's called The Hunt, and we end with The Hunt, and we see these like these teenage boys giving him the evil eye, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna die. I was surprised he lived.
Yeah, maybe not the smartest place to be on a hunt
Yeah, right.
after you've been, a target for so long.
right.
Yeah, it's a brutal thing, man.
I thought they were gonna like have a scene at the end where he's like running through the woods, getting shot, and everyone's chasing after him and stuff. And maybe
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't know where
this
it
whole
would go.
movie's been
I mean,
deadpan,
yeah.
quiet, just like no excitement, and then all of a sudden they're gonna be trudging through the woods.
And then there's
Yeah.
there's one of those hills that he
Shoot
starts
'em!
running directly at the camera
Yes.
across, and he has like 15
Right,
people
right.
behind him, and he jumps
Just
up in the air at
yep.
the end to make mugs
And
at
it
the
just
camera and
freeze frames.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
you might wonder how I got here. Well,
yeah,
let me
and it
tell
goes
ya.
to a voiceover. Yeah, of course. There you go. Yeah. That's how his movie should have started. Yeah.
and then
we
the kid
finished it
accuses
then.
you of something.
Yeah.
You should get out of town.
So you're
But
probably
not me.
wondering with yourself, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you some context.
Yeah, why is my best friend trying
Yeah.
to shoot me?
This story's all about molestation.
I got the
Then we
start
went
of that movie. That's Bill Murray right there.
Yeah, that's true. Oh God. We should just combine this with Groundhog Day. You can just relive it over and over and over again.
I got a little bit of trivia, guys.
Go.
Okay.
There was no commentary. There was a 6.5 minute long making of documentary,
Okay.
which I breezed through. Yeah, the alternative ending was funny. TC, if you still have it rented or if you have access to it, just watch
yeah,
it.
I can maybe find
Yeah,
it.
you know, really, I just wander, boom.
Yeah, it takes
mean,
a minute
really,
and a half
it's
to
a-
watch it, and
yeah.
it's pretty funny.
It's
kind
pretty
of.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not think it was funny, but go on.
I think you did, John.
Part of the reason I didn't like this movie, I kind of warned you guys against this movie last week, and I'm not sure if I should have, but I still kind of feel like it was somewhat merited.
I didn't listen to you as usual.
Okay,
'cause
that's
you're not
fine.
worth
Right,
listening
I
fine.
didn't
to, so
listen.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't listen at all. No,
No,
way.
but I just don't you think it's kind of weird that they made a movie that focuses on the small percentage of people that are innocent in these cases?
So this director's previous movie, which I really want to see now, which is called The Celebration, which is about a family with a history of abuse that has kept it under wraps forever. So in that sense, there's this interesting like parallel between these movies. Like the previous movie, it was about abuse that did happen that was denied. It's just coming from this film director. You're right. It's like what you do want to err on the side on believing the victims here, right? When there are true victims, and certainly like that's played into like the again the Catholic Church scandal where it went on for quite some time and people wouldn't believe it, right?
Yep.
Because how could they do this, and and if they did happen, why would they how could they possibly cover it up, right? That just seemed inconceivable. So I think there's a fair point there. It's not like, well, does this movie mean that if some child abuses somebody of sexual molestation that we should not believe them? And that's certainly not the case. I mean, but you also want to means that you need to get experts in to figure stuff out. You need to get people that really know what they're doing to try to figure out what's going on. And that's very, very important for both sides involved. That's also important for the people who are the people that if they, let's say that they accuse somebody of abuse, but it didn't really happen, but they're messed up for life because now they're a victim. And even though nothing really happened to them, I mean, it's still bad for the kids either way. So, it's very, very important to try to figure out what happened and also try to figure out how you can sort of make sure that people just don't go nuts trying to believe something and get carried away with it. And again, looking up at the hysteria type cases, it happens and it's probably not common. And you're right. Probably what happens more commonly is abuse does happen and people don't talk about it, or they don't want to admit that it's going on. They find ways to think that it's not happening.
Do you know what I kind of want,
so,
maybe?
Yeah.
I want this movie to have
Right.
more of a moral message in it, to be like, all right, this happens. Like, this movie's pretty much just, this happens. That's it. If there was something at the end, like, if we had done it this way, then this wouldn't have happened, and this way is the way it should be, and the way that this happens, the way this movie portrays it, happens but
right.
shouldn't happen. This is bad.
Right.
It doesn't do that.
I guess
no,
that's-
it doesn't,
that's a good
because
point.
it's just showing you what it's showing you is the power of and again, which is what I really think is good about the movie, is it just shows you the power of what other people think of you, and how if
I'm
everybody's on
sick
the
of being
same
just
page,
shown things. I want to be told what to do, John.
want to be taught the directions in a tutorial.
I understand, and that's a different kind of thing, and that's not what I think this movie was trying to do. I think it was just trying to show the situation,
Just making an
And
artistic statement.
If there was any kind of like what to do about this movie, it was how Mads' character stood up to it in this very like in this way of just refusing to accept their judgment of him, and that's, you know, if you want to take like if you find yourself in a situation
But he did,
where you're
though, because
unjustly
he took the leave. He shouldn't have taken the leave when they told him to take leave.
Oh no, you got to do that.
No,
you
you
got to
don't.
do that.
No, fuck that. As soon as you leave the school, people can talk behind your back.
No. Well, I know, but while an investigation of any kind is going
But
on,
Denny, remember,
you have to walk
They
away
didn't
from your
know
job
about
if that's
this,
what's going
right?
on.
You said that.
Yeah.
They didn't
I mean,
know at the
that's-
time. He just
I think
left.
that's just
Fuck you.
like standard procedure, whether you're
Well,
innocent or guilty.
either that, or he should have known better to speak up about himself earlier.
Fuck that. You did get a lawyer immediately. You shut and talk to nobody. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Fuck all
yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's fair. That's what you should
talk
be doing.
to
right?
nobody.
But
You don't
again, it's
fucking
a small
say
town,
shit.
and
You don't say
yeah.
yes. You don't say no. You don't say nothing.
They only have two
Keep your
cops. They
mouth
don't even
shut.
have uniforms, and they probably don't have lawyers there.
No,
Yeah, I
they
was
got
gonna
some
say-
guy talking about white stuff coming out, showing up at the school. Like, fuck
That's
you,
a
I got a
really-
lawyer.
That's a
I'll
really
see
interesting.
you in court, asshole.
It's interesting that there are no lawyers in this movie.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's
The
very
dad.
strange.
The dad, I think, was the brother of the other dude. That's actually the molester that Denny figured out. His dad is a lawyer because he was working on the case, right? Remember when
maybe
he came
so.
in?
Yeah.
He's like, your dad's working for your father. This movie was tense. It's over now. I don't have to watch it ever again.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, it's not just, so there's the sex abuse hysteria. There's also like false memory syndrome, which was big, where like therapists would like hypnotize people and make them think that they were abused. But they
Cool. Good job,
repressed it.
therapist. Good job.
And it was common thing. Like you could hypnotize anybody and talk them into admitting that they were abused. And so there is this other side of this stuff that's also terrifying in a whole different way. But yeah, that doesn't mean that doesn't delegitimize the actual abuse that goes on, which is far more common than people like to admit.
Yeah, well put, John.
Agreed. John wins the podcast. Good job, John. You get
Yes,
the podcast
abuse-
award for that
You get the
episode.
podcast to win.
Abuse bad,
He's
everybody.
good with the
Bad.
abuse movies. He's good. He's got a
Is
good,
bad.
he's got a good head on.
He's
him.
got that parental defense mechanism going in his brain. It makes him better at analyzing these types of
understanding
movies.
this shit.
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, two more things.
trivia?
Yeah, two more things. The girl was unaffected by the dramatic scenes because they didn't tell her exactly what was going on. Like if you look at the therapist scenes, whenever the therapist is saying something gross, you can't like see the kid's face in the same
Right.
shot.
She's not in the room, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they do a pretty good
That's
job of
smart.
like interleaving those edits. I thought she was there. I didn't think it looked weird at all. You know,
Mhm.
her reactions looked accurate to what was going on around her.
She did a good job. I mean, for
a tiny kid, yeah. How old
I
is she?
know.
Like 5?
yeah, that's kind of amazing how she did how she presented herself.
Yeah, she could play happy. She could play like introverted. She had a weird like facial tick thing, which was kind of cool for a kid that age. Like she had the little sniff
It was
thing.
like a real character actor thing
Yeah.
to do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was really good too. And the last thing is that I don't think you said this, but what the point of the movie, the main point of the movie is to prove that enormous love can turn into enormous hate. And I guess it's just like having kids.
Who said that? Like, where did
director.
you get that? Oh, the director? Yeah.
The director and Mads. I think it's like a quote from some book or something.
Okay.
Because they were both saying it, or at least I know they're friends with each other. So maybe they just like talk about this
And
movie a lot.
I think that's the point. Well, not the point. Well, they say it's the point, so whatever. But that's the idea to show how people can turn on you. And given the right set of circumstances and the right situation, that it can happen. It can be very powerful and it can be very hard to fight against. And that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
One wrong move from some other person, and you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, we make, you come to, all of a sudden there's some kind of decree that, all right, now atheists are the root of all evil. And if anybody's not like a God-fearing Christian,
Burn 'em!
you are to be shunned. And,
Yeah, or burned.
I mean, you just imagine any number of situations.
I'd prefer
where you
burning.
might-
Yeah, burn them at
As
the
an
stake.
atheist?
Fuck it.
right.
Get rid of them. Get rid of the witch. Get rid of the witch. Burn them. Obviously.
But the
I'd have been
idea-
in the crowd. I'd have been yelling
Right.
in that crowd, fucking get rid of him. They're a witch.
Yeah.
Fucking burn him. Yo, that's your brother. Fuck him. He's a fucking witch. I know it. Burn him.
It's another example, the witch trials and things
Yeah.
like that, where people were like, all right, let's burn
Yeah.
them. That's cool.
Timmy
People
would be out
show
there.
up.
Fuck you. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Fucking burn him. Fuck you. You know, that's the
Bring the kids, get some
all day.
popcorn.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Roast
grown a
a
lot as a race,
marshmallow.
the human
Yeah.
race. We really,
We
really are
haven't
way
grown at
different
all.
than that
We'll
now.
never grow. We're just
Yeah.
a bunch of pricks.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
That's what this movie taught me. That's why it made me angry. And John, would you
I
put this
didn't
in the
see
top 250?
I would.
No.
I wouldn't either, but I like it more than when we started the podcast. John, thanks for
That's
that.
good.
I mean, John gave it more
yeah.
weight.
Yeah. My anger turned into appreciation because the movie wanted me to be angry.
There you go.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
and wasn't smug about it.
But I don't like being angry, so screw that. I wouldn't like.
I
don't
love
like these
being angry.
movies.
Fucking rage up. Let's go.
I like to be scared, not angry.
Oh.
Oh, clowns.
But and also, if you're angry though, it's good to have like a good, like, nice, legitimate reason for it that you can like speak out about, as opposed to being like, these damn lying children. That doesn't work. That's not good. You
I
don't
knew
pat
they were a
yourself on
bunch
the
of
back.
liars.
Yeah, that's not something you pat yourself on the back about.
Right. That's not the idea.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going for
so-
it.
Even
It
if
makes
you're
it
right
tough.
and you win the case, you still look like a jerk.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Next week, you guys.
What do we got?
1950.
Uh-oh.
Joseph L. Mankiewicz.
Nice.
Mankiewicz. Something like that.
Well,
I have no idea.
well said.
It's called All About Eve.
All about Eve.
Yep.
What about Francesca?
That's going to be a long movie. I'm sure that there's a fair amount to cover with Eve.
Oh, there
No.
is actually is pretty long for that old of a movie.
Yeah.
2 hours and 18
Oh.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God. Yeah, I don't even know how to read this synopsis.
on a
John,
Sunday morning.
can you read the
All
synopsis,
about
John?
Eve 1950.
Yeah. See, I'll have to look it up. You'll have to give me a moment.
I'll give you a moment.
Backstage story revolving around aspiring actress Eve Harrington. Tattered and forlorn, Eve shows up in the dressing room of Broadway megastar Margot Channing, telling a melancholy life story to Margot and her friends. Margot.
Where are you- where's
I
that?
just
Where
wanna
are
go
you
into,
going?
like, I just want to go into like announcer voice on this one for some reason.
All I got is an insinuating
I mean,
herself.
so whatever the Google one is. So
no.
Margot
this is
takes
like,
Eve under her
I've
wing
gotta
and
say,
appears that Eve
you're gonna
is
give
a
away the
Colbert,
whole
and
movie.
this is
Stop
Margot.
it. I don't want to see the movie, all right? God damn it.
John, read this one.
Oh, man.
An ingenuine, how do you say it?
Exactly. What is that word? What is that fucking second word?
It's a French. I'd have to get Nikki. Okay. It insinuates herself into the lives of an established but aging stage actress and her circle of theater friends.
Oh, this is going to be miserable.
Sounds fucking
Betty
terrible.
Davis.
This is going to be
And,
so bad.
It won
Guys,
6 Academy Awards
fuck
and was
you.
nominated for like 10
fuck you
other
both
ones.
on this one.
98 Metascore.
Was that?
I don't want to watch this at all.
98 for Metacritic.
Can we move on from this one without seeing
Not
it?
a chance, TC. Not
I
a
know.
chance.
It's always worth the question.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Hey,
It'll be-
you have a punt of this 50.
I'm not going to waste it on this bullshit.
Come on. Yeah, this actually probably will tell a coherent story, so it's not going to be any kind of visual poetry that we need to skip. Wait,
No,
So
save
those
it for the
visual poetry movies are usually
50.
cut like an hour and a half max.
That's true. Yeah.
This is 2 hours and 18 fucking minutes.
Oh,
About
it's
some
pretty
actress.
long.
God
Yeah.
It's going to be
damn
some
it.
freaking epic shit going on in this movie.
Hey, Betty Davis. Come on.
Who's
Hollywood
that?
icon. She's Hollywood icon. Come on. She's famous.
Have you seen her in
Don't know why.
anything?
Never
No.
heard of her.
Betty Davis Eyes was a pop song for a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
The classic story of ambition and betrayal.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Billy Mumfries was a small country boy. Some might say a cockeyed optimist. Is that
is that Seinfeld, right?
that's Seinfeld?
Yeah. All right.
That's so good.
Timmy, you got anything to say about this film?
Fucking don't touch kids.
Yeah, okay, Timmy, good. Write that down, Timmy.
Wow. Good job, Timmy. Timmy's in the right spot.
Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. You can go to our website. It's mission250filmcast.com. You can like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app and write us a review on iTunes if you would. We're on Facebook and Twitter. And next week, we're going to watch a 1950 movie.
Ugh.
Yay.
And we're all excited about it. Every one of us.
Yeah. Oh, I love my job. Wait a minute. I'm not getting paid.
Paid for this.
God,
Joke's on you. I'm collecting
damn it.
all the money myself.
I'm gonna do it all.
All right, dudes. I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right, take care, guys.
Stop 'em.